What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Welcome to another DDLive number 90. 10 away. How's everybody doing? Right out of this place. Time to leave. My train's in the station. Gonna find me under sedation. Come along. Ooh, baby, come along. Let's fucking go! Everybody get the fuck up and dance. The Exorcist believer. Are you ready? Air guitar. It's not easy crossing the boundary trail. How's everybody doing? Sweet little baby, let the cat out of the bag. I guarantee you none of you have heard this song. Let me say hello. Fachi, what's up, brother? That sounded scary. Fractal. Polly, how are you doing? Brooke, nice to see you in here. Brett, good real honey, how you doing? Randy Romero. Taffer, see Taffer in there. Deadhead, what's everybody drinking? This one's for Deadhead. There we go. A Stream Elements bot is running. I don't even know what the hell that means. A Stream Element. Hold on, listen, guys, listen. Linda, listen. Hold on. They don't make music like this anymore. I want you guys to hear this guy belt this high note. Hold on. It's coming. Everybody wake the fuck up. Here we go. I'll let you hear the whole damn song. That is Salty Dog. The name of the song is Come Along. And that's a band that only has one album out back in 1990, I think. 90 or 91. I think 90. This is in my Drumdums Forgotten Rock Jams playlist. If you go on Spotify, type in Drumdums, you'll see it in there. A lot of stuff like that you've probably never heard that was pretty much a staple of my late teenage years. You know, this is the type of stuff I would listen to on my way to school and rock the fuck out. And you won't hear music like that anymore. I promise you won't. That's some good shit right there, guys. All right? That's some beef noodle hearty is what that is. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. Man. I'm not complaining about music these days. You know, every generation has their good music, I guess. But maybe I'm an old man. I don't know. You know what? I am tomorrow. Today is my last day in my 40s, guys. My last day in my 40s is today. Tomorrow is my birthday. I will be 50 years old. The big 5-0. I'm embracing it. I was kind of afraid of it for a while, but now I'm just like, wow. 50 years old. That's insane. That's insane to me. But, age is just a number. That's the way I've always looked at it. I still feel like that freaking teenager inside. My body tries to fuck with me sometimes, but, I try to take care of myself. I exercise, I run to keep my body in shape because really I just want to be young. I want to stay that teenage boy, And, 50. It's so freaking weird. Like, I remember when my parents were 50. That felt like so long ago. It's insane. It's really, really insane. Gia Johnson says, I just made 50 in February. I'm still a teen at heart. Amen. Everybody say happy birthday. Well, actually, she turned 50 in February. But hey, that deserves something, right? Brett, what's up, man? He says, any big plans for your 50th birthday? I'm going to spend time with my family tomorrow. That's the big thing. My daughter is coming with Delilah. My son is coming with his new dog, Nico. You guys want to see Nico? He just got Nico last Saturday. Let me show you Nico. What's up? Cody Falk, what's up, brother? Let me go over here. Hold on. I'm going to show you guys Nico. All right. Don't look at that funny. Don't you look at that. All right. Yeah. This is Nico. That's at my son's place, but man, that dog is always smiling. He's the sweetest dog, but we got the dog from this place where they pretty much left him outside every day. And let me tell you guys right now, it's been in the triple digits. It's been in like today. I got in my car. I shit you not. It said 110. Okay. Call my car a liar. Don't call me a liar. But when I turned on my ignition, the display came on. It said 110. And I was just like, are you serious? It was that freaking hot. And this poor dog is a year old. And I guess for the past few months, it had been like they kept it outside. They wouldn't let it freaking come in the house. So it looked like it was kind of tired when we saw it. It looked like it was weak. And that's the dog after, I think, like maybe a week later. And he looks so healthy now. Got him a fresh haircut. Got all his shots up to date. And he's beautiful. He's a beautiful dog. Nico is his name. Nico. But I'll be seeing Nico tomorrow, which will be cool. I'm just going to spend time with my family, though. That's the big thing. I just want to spend time with my family. I did get... You want me to show you one of my birthday presents I bought myself? Oh, here we go. I have been using pretty much, for most of my YouTube journey, I've used the same equipment. And I got, let's see, where's it at? I bought this. Where's it at? Zoom, yeah, here you go. I haven't even opened the box yet because I'm afraid of it. But I got a Zoom H4n. I've had my eye on it for a while because I use just a regular Zoom external mic with a lav plugged in it for all my videos. I've used that for pretty much 8 years, and I wanted to finally upgrade and try this out. Now, don't get me wrong; it could go the other way. I got a Rode shotgun mic quite a few years ago, and I sent it right back. And you know what? It's great for shotgun mics, but for what I was doing, I could still hear like the room noise and the echo, and I was just like, nope, I can't do it. So I went back to my lav, and that'll be the situation with this. Although I think this one's gonna be, because I'll still plug a lav into it. But yeah. Cody Fox says that's a good recorder. I've heard a lot of musicians actually tell me that they use this to record because it's got I think it's got like 4 inputs or something like that. But it's a nice mic. I just haven't had time because I know I got a feeling when I open it up, I got to get used to it and do some settings and all that stuff. And it seems like my life has just been go, like busy lately. So it's been crazy. Now I got a special video here for you guys that I wanted to play for you. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Did I put it in slides? I think I put it in slides. Let me see. Hold on. I try to keep everything organized with these strings. Here it is right here. Let's try this and see if this works, okay? Everybody pay attention, all right? This is a little message for the Crow Days of Sodom, all right? I wanted to play this for you guys, all right? So that way you guys know we're not fucking around, okay? Here we go. Let's see if this plays.
The fuck you all painted up for, crackhead, huh? Halloween ain't till mañana.
Hey, this is Lawrence Mason, aka Tintin from The Crow. Support The Crow Days of Sodom. Go straight to Indiegogo.com right now and contribute. Thank you.
Damn! That gave me something. Did you guys see that? That was Lawrence Mason. Just in case you guys, you want to fuck around and find out, that's Lawrence Mason. He is going to be in the Crow Days of Sodom. Let me pull up the Indiegogo here because I want you guys to know where you can go. All right, here we go right here. Okay. And let me pull this up. Yeah. Crow Days of Sodom. All right. We got 14 days left. We are at 13,342. This movie's happening, guys. We are going to make this happen. Come hell or high water. We thank all of you that have donated. It's more than a donation. You're a part of it. When this thing comes out, you can have this, this really cool feeling flow through you that, hey, I was a part of that, we're going to make this happen. We want you guys to be a part of it. Lawrence Mason, I saw that and I got chill bumps. But plenty of other celebrity talent going to be in this thing. Let me show you these perks here. Got a packed show for you guys tonight, okay? But I wanted to start by pushing this, all right? This is just a quick rundown of the Indiegogo. Completely different story. This is not a remake. It's not Eric Draven. It's a completely different story with different characters, except for Sarah. Sarah is actually in this story, and she has a really, really good part. Matter of fact, she might be one of my favorite parts of this script, besides the Crow himself. But yeah, there's Lawrence Mason, Vernon Wells. I was just watching The Road Warrior the other day. I was like, oh shit, there's Vernon Wells. Robert Mukes, Paul T. Taylor, who played Pinhead in one of the Hellraiser movies. So got a really good cast there. This is going to be a damn good fan film. That is our goal, to make this look like a Hollywood production and look and feel, and it's going to have all the action, and it's going to have the heart and the emotion. That's one thing that's really, really, really important to us, is to have the heart and the emotion, because that's part of the reason, if not the reason, why the Crow is probably one of the most important films to me. So Indiegogo, guys. I'll put a link in the info box too. But if you go to Indiegogo, just type in Crow Days of Sodom. All right, and it's there. Jump in. Get the Blu-ray. There's a lot of perks. Some of the perks are already sold. But yeah, we just added a T-shirt in there. You can get a T-shirt, which is really nice. $35. It's nothing. $35 get you a T-shirt, guys. That's pretty much what you pay for a T-shirt these days anyway. So you'd be paying for a T-shirt, and you're getting a new Crow film. Okay. There's the Blu-ray. I've already chipped in for the Blu-ray. I'm getting that Blu-ray. All right. But yeah, tons of perks. If you want to dig deep, there are incentives there that signed cast script, Crow Slate bundle. You can get your name on a tombstone. Guys, go look at this. There's tons of good perks on there. And you know what? You're supporting independent film at the end of the day. You know? So I'm just excited. Really, really excited for this, to be a part of this. And man, yeah. Crow, Days of Sodom, guys. 13,342. I want to say thank you to everybody that has contributed. We're going to... David Catone, we will not mess this up, my good sir. I'm telling you. A lot of passion. Every single person, and there's a lot of them that are involved in the making of this movie, is a massive Crow fan. All right? Every single person. So, yeah. Crow, Days of Sodom, guys. Get in there. Get in there. Thank you guys for being here with me tonight. Now I have a packed show. I'm gonna do. We're gonna do some news, of course. I got a few little funnies that we can do. Matter of fact, I might even start off with the funnies tonight, because I only have a few. If I only have a few, then I'll just start off with the funnies. I got 2 lists that I'm going to do for you tonight. So I'll roll through that list, or both lists, pretty quick. I'm going to do part 2 of the Rad 9 movies that made me. If you don't know what that is, last week I did part 1, and I gave you like 11 movies. And it's not my all-time favorite movies. It's movies that made me. Movies that in my childhood up to a certain point were kind of like checkpoints, you know? And these could be movies that I saw maybe once, maybe twice, you know, but there's something about, you know, that movie that is imprinted. You know, it's a memory, you know, like to give you an example, I mentioned Friday Part 3, and I clipped it out so you can check out that whole video for just that. You don't have to watch the whole live stream, but Friday the 13th Part 3 was on that list. Is that my favorite Friday movie? No, not at all. It might be in the top 5. Part 4 is my favorite, but Part 3 holds a special place in my heart because when I was 10 years old, I watched the movie, scared the living crap out of me, and the scene where the eyeball pops out of the head, and I had my hands over my face the whole movie, and it was just this, like, I think that was the first time I've ever been like literally like scared to death watching a movie. I didn't know movies could do that, you know, and Friday Part 3 kind of holds that special place. So we'll go through that. Also, we're going to talk about divisive horror movies. I posted this question on Killer Flicks the other day. What are some divisive horror movies? And I tell you what, guys, right now, give me a movie that you think's a divisive horror movie. A divisive horror movie is not an underrated horror movie. It could be, but for this definition, it's not. What a divisive horror movie is it's split down the middle. Half the audience seems to love it. Other half seems to hate it. So if you give me like Jeepers Creepers Reborn, that's not a divisive horror movie. Everybody hates that movie, okay? If you give me freaking Seed of Chucky, I would say maybe 10% of people like that movie, but most people hate it, including me, all right? I'm talking 50-50. Movies that are like right down the freaking middle, okay? So I already see Randy Romero says Halloween Ends. That could be on my list. Nighttime says Halloween Kills. Evil Resident, Halloween Remake, the Rob Zombie one. You know what? And there's an observation there on the Halloween franchise, which we will get to. We will definitely get to. It Follows. Yeah. Poltergeist 2. Ooh, Poltergeist 2. I like that. That's good. COVID-19. Is that a movie? It's like if you say that word, it's just like these freaking sirens go off, right? Jennifer's Body. Would you guys agree with that? I don't think Jennifer's Body's divisive. I would say most people tend to like Jennifer's Body. You know, I don't know too many people that don't like Jennifer's Body. Yeah. Damn, I was gonna play a song for you guys. You know, if you give me a second, I think I promise you this will be worth it, okay? Or it might not be your style of music, but I think it's really cool. All right. Let me see if You know what? Here's what I can do. I'm going to play this on... I used to do this when I first used to do these, the DDLives, because I didn't know what I was doing. And I would literally hold my phone up to the microphone. I'm going to do that right now, okay? So listen. Just listen. Linda, listen. All right, hold on. Here we go. Hold on. Let me turn my phone up, okay?
One body bag, don't fit them, turn their face to a mask, and then I rock a fucking fitted abomination. Drown you in the lake like Jason, tie you down like Ark the Satanist, start operate. Psychotic as Patrick Bateman, but we bringing Halloween back like Blumhouse. Trick or treating with guns out, turn your block into the town of dreaded sundown. Run your mouth, see your face it like Gunther and Funhouse. Like Michael Myers, I love Halloween. Chase a voice like a bitch, see it's sort of my thing. Freddy Krueger in your nightmares, hiding your dreams. Something's wrong.
Okay, all right, there's a test. All right, I want you guys, this is like Where's Waldo, okay? Type out right now, type out a horror reference that you heard in that song, okay? Because there was probably like 50 of them. Give me a horror reference that you heard in that song. If you want to give me more than one, that would be fine. But yeah, were you guys able to make out the lyrics in that? But it is Dead Camp SKGB. That's on his Spotify. It's a slashers. It's like a slashers rap song. Freddy, Blumhouse, Elm Street, Michael Myers, Patrick Bateman. So, Nuclear Fusion, nice one. I didn't think anybody would catch the Patrick Bateman. Halloween, Freddy, sounded like ICP, a little bit. Upgrade, I didn't hear Upgrade, but you could. That doesn't mean you're wrong. Let me play it one more time. Hold on, one more time.
One body bag, don't fit them, turn their face to a mask, and then I rock a fucking fitted abomination. Drown you in the lake like Jason, tie you down like Ark the Satanist, start operate. Psychotic as Patrick Bateman, but we bringing Halloween back like Blumhouse. Trick or treating with guns out, turn your block into the town of dreaded sundown. Run your mouth, see your face it like Gunther and Funhouse. Like Michael Myers, I love Halloween. Chase a voice like a bitch, see it's sort of my thing. Freddy Krueger in your nightmares, hiding your dreams. Something's wrong.
I like that. That was good. Yeah, I mean, he tried to like shove in every single different horror icon that he could. That was awesome. Ooh, Funhouse. I think I did hear Funhouse. I heard a lot of Halloween and Michael Myers, and that was cool to hear Blumhouse. You know. By the way, guys. I'm not even gonna clip this out because it's probably gonna be like, but one little nugget that caught my interest about the Halloween sort of news, you know, there's more like speculation right now because everybody's wondering, okay, what's next? And there were a couple of Twitter accounts that posted something, an update. I can't remember what they are. If I do clip this out, I'll put them here in the video. But they were basically stating that Malik Akkad already has his mind made up, which I don't remember if it actually said that or not. But one thing that was interesting was it's not going to Blumhouse. They're done with Blumhouse. So it's back at, are they at Trancas? I think they're still at Trancas. So guys, let me ask you this. What studio would you like to take over Halloween? You know? What studio could you see as a good match for Halloween? All right. Because somebody did bring up the possibility of A24. What if A24, took Halloween under their wing and got maybe like an A24 type director for Halloween? Is that something that you guys would be privy to? You would be fine with that? Or do you want to keep Halloween away from A24? Me personally, I would love it. I would freaking love it, honestly. Jeff Neal says New Line Cinema. That would be interesting because New Line Cinema, don't they still own Freddy Krueger and Nightmare on Elm Street? A24 would be awesome. Jasmine says A24 or Universal. Well, Jasmine brings up a good point because Universal was over Blumhouse, which I think they still are. So to Jasmine's point there, that doesn't mean that Blumhouse has to, like, they could still go to Universal under a different company, right? That's what I would think. Am I wrong on that, guys? I think they could. Jason, what's up, man? Backtrack Cinema. Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. Like Universal, I liked Halloween under the Universal umbrella. You know, if you think back, Halloween 2 and 3 were both under the Universal umbrella. And there was a certain aesthetic to Universal, you know, at least back then. Even down to like the cinematography. Is that weird? Like, there was a certain look, you know what I mean, of Universal Pictures. And you can, like, even Jaws and Jaws 2 have a certain look that is sort of similar to Halloween 2 and Halloween 3. Am I wrong, guys? Or am I on to something there, right? And I don't know if it's the same today, although I do think the David Gordon Green trilogy, those movies did have a certain look. Hey, let me ask you this, guys, while we're talking about Halloween real quick. We're going to talk, you know what? We're going to talk more about Halloween too, because I had another topic for you, okay? Which movie of the David Gordon Green trilogy did you think had the worst cinematography? You know? It just didn't have the colors that you like, that you would want overall. Would it be 2018? Would it be Kills? Or would it be Ends? The worst cinematography. Okay? So Nighttime says Halloween Ends had the worst cinematography. Would you guys agree with that? I mean, even if you hate Halloween Ends, you know, it depends on what you're looking for. Okay? But I actually adored the cinematography in Ends. Blazing Asian says Halloween 2018, and I agree with that, Blazing, because I like the nighttime scenes in Ends, but the daytime scenes did kind of seem bland, flat, you know, like when I'm comparing those to, like, say, the daytime scenes in the original Halloween, it's no contest. There's something, I don't know, there's something about the daytime scenes in the original Halloween that just pop. I don't know. Kills and then, yeah, Kills had great cinematography too. Well, Kills was the whole movie was at night too, so that was kind of a bonus. Nighttime says Halloween Ends has no color or Halloween scenes. No. And I'm just disagreeing with you, Nighttime. The scenes with, like, Allison and Corey, man, those scenes look gorgeous. You know, you had a lot of those, like, neons and the purples and the pinks, and I like that stuff in a Halloween movie. That's not something you see all the time, but it's, you know what, in Nighttime's defense, it's a preference, okay? That look might not be for you, all right? It might not be for you, but I liked the look of, especially like the freaking, the junkyard scene. Guys, oh my God. The cinematography in the junkyard scene. Wow. Just freaking wow. Wow. Blazing Asian says we're 100% on this topic. Yeah. Jason says the flashback scene was gorgeous in Kills. Oh my God, yes. The flashback scene was just a treat. That's all. That was just a freaking like, to start the movie off with that. I was like, oh damn, they've never done this before. And to make it look like I think it looks even more like Halloween 2 than 1. Am I wrong on that, guys? Which movie does the flashback scene look more like? Does it look like Halloween 1 or Halloween 2? Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe it does look more like Halloween, the first Halloween. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, because Halloween 2 does have more of a grainy type of look, whereas Halloween 1, it's not so much grainy, right? I don't know. Let's see. Christopher Santiago says the shot take with Michael killing in the neighborhood in Halloween 2008. Yes. That's the scene that is money. The entire scene is it's gorgeous looking. There's a lot of oranges and blues. And when you get oranges and blues in a Halloween movie, oh my God, you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong. Cold and Beautiful. Yes, Fractal. Yes. Beginning of Halloween 2. Yeah, I could see the flashback kind of resembling that for sure. Let me take a drink. Should I, you know what? Since I'm on the Halloween portion, I'll continue with my other Halloween topic that I wanted to discuss. And these are fun little topics, right? Opinion pieces, all right? And this is a question I posted today in Killer Flicks because I like stirring the pot. Okay. Okay. Not the movie, but which final act of Halloween 6 do you prefer? Do you prefer the producer's cut final act, or do you prefer the theatrical cut final act? And that's a good question because those two final acts are pretty much completely different. Completely different. Okay? The movie goes, it's like the movie, it's almost like a multiverse, you know? You could go two completely different directions. So, I'm just curious to see what most of you say. All right? And I'm not trying to load what I mean by load is make fun of the one that I don't like. I'm going to make it fair. All right. I have only seen the producer's cut and I didn't like that movie. Holy shit. Are you serious, Evil Resident? You've only seen the producer's cut of Halloween 6. Oh my God. I'm sorry, guys. That's for me. That just blew my mind. That just really blew my mind. Guys, do you want to set him straight or should I? Should he see the theatrical cut of Halloween 6? Should he see the theatrical cut of Halloween 6? Man of Steel, what's up, brother? How you doing? Holy, I need to process this. This is insane to me. You've never seen the theatrical cut of Halloween 6. Well, I can tell you right now, good sir, I think you're in for a treat because it's a completely different third act, and I have a feeling that the reason you don't like Halloween 6 is because of the producer's cut final act. Wow. That's insane. That's insane to me. I'm so blown away, I didn't even read your responses. Okay, theatrical all the way. Gory Tigers has never seen producer's cut. I would recommend checking out the producer's cut. As a matter of fact, I'll talk about the producer's cut here in just a second. All right, and what it means to me. Okay, it is a very important film to me for a specific reason. All right, Halloween 6 theatrical makes no sense. I got it. I understood it. Theatrical, but I like both. Never seen the director's cut, just stills. But anything with little rocks keeping Myers at bay is pretty goofy to me. Yeah, and now that it's out of the bag, what I said was, which final act do you prefer? The one with this badass orgasmic red lighting and Myers pushing this orderly through these cell bars, and then this badass hospital massacre where Myers is just slaying like a dozen. That guy who just said he's never seen the theatrical cut. This is in the theatrical cut. There is literally a hospital massacre in the final act of the theatrical cut where Myers is like, that scene is scary. It's literally scary. Myers is, because of you could close your eyes during that scene and you could just absorb the sounds and be like petrified because you just hear all these doctors screaming for their lives while Myers is like stabbing all of them and you see blood like flying everywhere and it's insane. Or you could have the producer's cut where Myers is controlled by a bunch of old senior citizens, and then the way they beat him is they put a bunch of rocks around him. No wonder the guy didn't like the producer's cut. Holy shit. Man. Evil Resident, man. I'm done. Guys, tell Evil Resident, you need to watch the theatrical cut. That final act is balls to the wall. I mean, and Evil Resident, that's the reason they made the theatrical cut, is because when they did test screenings of the producer's cut, it didn't fare so well. And I think that's why, because the final act was just really weak. And so they went in on a weekend, refilmed the entire final act. And I don't even think they had permission. I think they kind of did it covert ops and made that final act for Halloween 6. And then that's the version we got. Yeah, the movie wasn't a hit. But man, when I walked out of Halloween 6, holy shit, I was just like, wow, that was a fucking movie. And yeah, and Full Shine On, man, I freaking love that song. It always makes me think of Halloween 6. But I remember as the credits were rolling for Halloween 6, that last scene where Loomis is saying, I have some business I need to attend to. And he's just kind of standing there. And then you see the last scene with Loomis or you hear Loomis in the mask. And man, it it hit me. I was just like, damn, that's the last time we're going to see Donald Pleasance. That's crazy. So that's why Halloween 6 has such a special place in my heart. The atmosphere, I think, is still to this day unmatched. The atmosphere is so gorgeous in that movie. And I'll even say this about the cinematography. And I think the cinematography, or maybe in post-production, it's a little different, a little more hard-edged in the theatrical cut. Whereas I think it's, I don't want to use the word flat. I think it is brighter, and I would say maybe more pleasant looking, more friendly looking in the producer's cut, whereas there's a harder edge to the theatrical cut. And also, Evil Resident, one more thing you need to know about the theatrical cut. There's also differences throughout. Like, the entire score is completely different. There's more of like a rock score. I'm glad Evil Resident is here because this gives me something to talk about. There's more of like a rock score, and it's like during the scare scenes, I've like still to this day, I've never heard music used this way for scare scenes. You would hear like, I wish like, it's hard to demonstrate, but guys, you know what I'm talking about, right? Myers is about to kill somebody, you know, whoever the subject is. And you hear this. Boom! It's like metal on metal. Am I right on that, guys? It's just like this constant build, this woman screaming, like, you know, where it starts from like the volume at 0, and then it just rises up, and then this explosion of like metal hitting metal. It's the strangest thing, but highly effective, I think. Highly effective. Word unheard. That is your opinion, good sir. I'm offended, though. I'm definitely offended. There's no fucking way in hell that Resurrection is better than Halloween 6. You have got to be kidding me. Jesus. Pass the gravy. That's crazy. I don't even know what that means. Wow. Resurrection is better than Halloween 6? I'm sure, you know what? There's a lot of people that hate Halloween 6. I get it, okay? By the way, guys, that's the reason I became a Rotten Tomatoes critic, just so I could go on Rotten Tomatoes website, go to Halloween 6 and give it a fresh rating. That is the exact reason I did it. I started this whole journey just so I could become a Rotten Tomatoes critic, so I could go and leave a positive rating for Halloween 6. And you know what I did? I did that, okay? I did that. Matter of fact, somebody actually said when they went to Vudu, and they were going to rent Halloween 6. They pulled up Halloween 6. And you know how on Vudu they'll show like the reviews? And I think because mine was the last one, my review like showed up next to like the poster of the movie. my Rotten Tomatoes score. And I was like, yes. I think I have that saved somewhere too. But yeah. No, you're a god amongst men, Nighttime. You're a god amongst men. Yeah, man. Halloween 6, though. Yeah, that final. Now, yeah, I was going to tell you why the producer's cut is important to me, though, okay? And then I'll close out the Halloween talk with this, all right? And yes, I will clip this out, okay, because I'm a whore. But the producer's cut was my holy grail of home video releases. It never, ever should have happened. You know, I wanted it to happen, but the fact that it did happen, and the quality of the release that we got, the print, was nothing short of a miracle. A miracle. And this is why I will always hold Shout Factory up on high. You know? God graced them with every ounce of gold and honey that you possibly can. Shout Factory. Because how they made that happen is crazy. I mean, the fact that they found somebody that had an interpositive reel of Halloween 6 is insane. The producer's cut. But the producer's cut, the history of it was, there was, for years after the first, the theatrical cut came out, a few years later, a bootleg of the producer's cut surfaced. And there were different versions of the bootleg that you could get. Some of them had like all these special features. And this was on a VHS. I bought that VHS on eBay back in the day. I think I paid like, I want to say like $20-30 for it or something like that. The quality was really bad and dark. Just really dark, so you couldn't really make out what was going on. But I used to watch that thing all the time. But the quality was so bad that when I finally got the actual release of the producer's cut in glorious HD Blu-ray, it was like a different movie. I didn't remember the plot of that movie. And I was just like, it's funny. I waited 19 years for this movie, and then I get it. And then I'm like, I much prefer the theatrical cut. It took me getting it in that quality to finally realize that I preferred the theatrical cut. Now, the producer's cut does have some nice scenes that aren't in the theatrical cut, some character moments, which were really cool to see for the first time. Because remember, guys, I mean, most of us, we saw just the theatrical cut for 19 years. So it was nice to see. It looked like a brand new movie with all these different scenes. It was really, really cool. So, yeah, God bless the freaking producer's cut for finally being released. Yeah, it might not be, in my top 8, 9 of the Halloween franchise. Now, the theatrical cut is firmly sitting, I think, right now at number 3 or 4 in my ranking. Okay, and it usually teeters around there, but the producer's cut, it's usually kind of way back there. But I'm glad I own it. I'm glad I own Resurrection, and I don't like the movie, but I'm glad I own it. Right. Word on Her says, I promise to watch Halloween 6's producer's cut again. That's oh yeah, definitely, yeah. And make sure you watch them both back to back. Okay, both back to back. Okay, all right. You know what? Let's get into the news, the Exorcist news. Oh man, oh boy. Exorcist believer. Let me get over here. All right, let me make sure I'm set up over here. Yeah. All right, here we go. This is pretty crazy. Exorcist believer official posters channel the haunting spirit of the original classic. Now, let me ask you guys this before I get to reading here, okay? And I got a couple questions for you. I'm like interviewing my audience right now. Do you guys want me to interview you? I need answers, okay? And you guys are the only ones that have them. Before these posters, what was your anticipation level for this movie, the Exorcist Believer? Were you excited for the Exorcist Believer before the posters? And I guess I'll get right to the point. My main question is, did these posters actually make you a bit more curious? And dare I say, even really, really excited? Okay? Evil Resident says, I'm not really hyped for the new Exorcist, but the new posters are amazing, I must say. I just didn't like the Halloween trilogy much, unfortunately. It was okay. 2018 was good, though. Yeah. Jason says, I honestly just want to see a fun movie in October. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm a horror fan, and because I'm a horror fan, I will give just about anything a chance, and if it's a property like The Exorcist, if the trailer grabs me, then I'll give anything a chance. Okay. Jasmine Couture says, I wasn't excited until I seen the trailer last night. Holy shit. You saw the trailer during Oppenheimer. It looks so damn good, man. I want to see that trailer on the big screen. I'm so freaking jealous, guys. Okay. I'm going to give you a full disclosure right now, because I like to be completely 100% with my audience. Okay. I have seen the trailer, but I didn't see, I saw, I think somebody was holding a camera up in the theater or something like that. Had to be, right? Because I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet. So I don't even want to tell you what I thought of the trailer, because does it really even count if I saw it in that quality? Because I don't know about you guys, but picture and sound matter to me in terms of watching a new trailer. Like when I watched the trailer for Halloween 2018 that first time, I am so glad that I didn't see a bootleg trailer, that I saw, I saw it on YouTube, but it was just, beautiful HD, had my headphones in, great sound. And that sound especially, that's important. And when you watch a bootleg trailer, the sound is gone. It sounds like shit. So you know what? I'm not even going to tell you what I thought of the trailer, because it doesn't really count. I wasn't immersed in it, I was glad I saw it. And I really, I love the guy that showed it to me. Really cool dude. He asked me, he's like, hey, do you want to see this? And I was like, yeah, I guess I want to see it. But I will say, though, I'll say this, though. I'll definitely say this. There were some images that definitely caught my fancy. All right? There were some images that definitely got me intrigued. All right? Now, before I read, let's talk about The Exorcist. All right? Let's talk about the importance of this movie. And I'll put this out there right now, too, guys, okay? I know there are some people that say that Exorcist 3 is better than The Exorcist. Not a fucking chance. All right? And I love Exorcist 3. I think Exorcist 3 is phenomenal. Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast. What's up, brothers? How you doing? I saw an extended trailer at City Europe back in June, and it's good. That must be Darren. But as we know, trailers are full of smoke and mirrors. However, I'm curious, and I'm keeping an open mind. That's what I'm doing, Darren. I'm keeping an open mind, man. Like I said, I'll give any movie a chance. I'm not one of these channels that shits on movies before they come out. I don't care what the movie is. I can tell you if I think the movie's going to be good or not, but I'm not going to say, fuck that movie, it sucks, there's no way I'm going to support it. No, I will give every movie a fair shake, and I'll be completely honest after I see the movie if I thought it was a complete piece of shit. You know? I did that. When I went to a Warner Brothers, I shouldn't say the studio, but I said it already. I went to a Warner Brothers, I won't say the movie, but I went to a Warner Brothers screening, critic press screening. They gave us like little treats and whatnot, and wined us and dined us and all that stuff. No, they didn't dine us, but yeah, it was a very nice screening. I didn't like the movie at all, and respectful. I was respectful, but when I went out, I was in certain words, I was just like, this movie wasn't good because of this, and this, and that was it. Because when you walk out of a press screening, they give us a little sheet of paper, like an index card, and they want us to write down our quick thoughts. I don't know why I guess they just want us to give it to the studio. I don't know, but yeah, they want our quick thoughts, so I give them my quick thoughts, and I'm honest. I'm freaking dead honest. I want to make sure that my integrity is intact. I'm not gonna freaking lie just because somebody lets me go to a press screening early. If they kick me out because of my opinion, so be it. But yeah, Born to Be Rad, what's up, man? Gonna be doing your part 2, man. I Born to Be Rad. Check out his channel, guys. Man, that Born to Be Rad. How many people have done that tag now? This might be the tag that is like setting YouTube on fire right now, because I swear every time I go to my freaking homepage, I see 9,000 Born to Be Rad movies that made me tag videos. It's awesome. I've never seen so many, and it's just because it's such a fun topic to discuss, movies that made me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing my part 2 tonight. I have so many other movies that I can't wait to talk to you guys about. It's gonna be fun. But yeah. So yeah, Exorcist though. Back to Exorcist. Let me take a drink of my water. God, I wish I had a monster. Shit. I should have grabbed my monster. Jesus. Yes, Brent. Exorcist Believer trailer will release on the 25th. I've heard that. I definitely am looking forward, and I'll do a trailer reaction. I'm looking forward to actually seeing the trailer in high quality H2O. Yeah, and but now, yeah, Exorcist. I think, guys, let me know right now, which one do you prefer, Exorcist or Exorcist 3? Because do I really have to mention any of the other Exorcist movies? They're all really bad, okay? The only two that are like, it's so funny. This is a weird franchise. It's one of those franchises where you have 2 movies that are like freaking top notch, and then the rest of the franchise is kind of crap. And I think, is Terminator like that too? Where you got 2 movies that are great and then the rest are crap? Amityville, I think it's like that too. It's weird. It's like maybe the directors, whoever were in charge of the first couple of movies or producers, whatever, that maybe they kind of went on to bigger and better things, and then they let this other crew come in that weren't up to snuff. I don't know, but The Exorcist, to me, I mean, that movie is so important to me, not just because of the controversy that went around it, not because it came out the year I was born, which is kind of cool, 73. 50. This movie is 50 years old this year. But man, I watch it every few years, and man, it still holds up so good, and it is such a great movie. And I think people that the scares and the horror, it kind of gets in the way of the actual movie and how great the movie really is and how good the story is, and rich. It's a really rich story with fine, great performances. And William Friedkin, he went into this movie not treating it like a horror movie. He wanted it to be just almost like a drama, about this child that was possessed by the devil. She could have any other affliction, and it might not even be a horror movie. But it's basically a mother trying to save her child. When you get right down to it, that's what The Exorcist is. A mother trying to save her child. But the thing here is the child was possessed by the devil. All right? Still to this day, my opinion, probably the scariest movie ever made. All right? I can't... And scares are subjective. What scares you might not scare me, and vice versa. Okay? But The Exorcist, as a collective, scared the living shit out of the country when it came out. And I still to this day, there's a reason why I can only watch The Exorcist every few years. It's not like Halloween where I can throw it in every year. But every time I watch it, man, it's a meal of a movie. It is so freaking good, and it's shocking. And when you're done with it, you're just like, wow, what an experience The Exorcist is. It's a beautiful movie. And what's beautiful about it, too, is you got the priest in there who he was losing his religion, I wonder if the REM song was kind of inspired by The Exorcist. But yeah, he was losing his religion, and what brings him back to his religion is saving Reagan at the end of the movie. Is it Regan or Reagan? Damn it. I always get shit when I say it wrong, and then I forget what I say. So, yeah. I think the one thing that David Gordon Green has going for him, Reagan, thank you very much. So I said it right the first time, Chris. Thank you. I think the one good thing David Gordon Green has going for him here is the track record of the franchise. All right. He's really got nowhere to go but up. There's a good chance that this movie could be the third best Exorcist movie. He might have already sealed the deal. I don't know. Okay. Because are there any Exorcist 2 fans? I'm sure there's a couple, but damn, that's a hard movie to get through. Okay. Another thing I think he's got going for him here is that this actually has characters from the first movie. You got, or at least you got the mother, right? You got the mother. I wonder if Linda Blair is actually in this movie, and maybe that's the ace in the hole that they're holding on to. Is it possible? I don't know. Hold on. This is driving me crazy. My OCD's kicking in. Hold on, guys. Let me take that off. Those aren't even the right topics. That was last week's topics. Shit. Okay. And here's another. So I can call this like 3 things that are in his favor, and maybe a couple more things that are not in his favor. Okay. Here's another. David Gordon Green has a name now. Like the Halloween trilogy or not, the name David Gordon Green. That could be a bad thing, and it probably is going to go on the bad side. There's some people, I've seen it, they hate David Gordon Green. I've seen vitriol people. They're stating that I will not watch this man destroy another franchise. Their words, okay? I like the Halloween trilogy, I do. Even if I thought they were just okay, the downright hate that this man has received from some people because they did not like his trilogy is pretty interesting, actually. I've seen some pretty crazy comments, okay? I'll just say that. Angry comments. But maybe that could make, like, let me ask you guys this, okay? Let me ask you guys this. Let's say you have 100 really angry, negative comments about David Gordon Green. Do you have a feeling that some of them will, even though they've stated all this hate that they have for David Gordon Green, I have a feeling some of them will go to the movie just because they're curious, you know? Not all of them. Some of them, they'll stick to their word and they won't support it and they won't go to it. But I do think sometimes haters, they have to be their opening day to watch the movie that they hate. Would you agree with that? I definitely agree with that. I think some haters, hell, you could even take these freaking Star Wars and these Marvel haters. And I guarantee you most of those guys are there opening day to watch the movie, to shit on the movie, you know? And I'm not saying I love Star Wars and I love Marvel. It's just an observation. I think it's kind of funny. Human nature is really funny, isn't it, guys? So I guarantee you there's going to be some people that hate David Gordon Green that are going to be there opening night for this movie. All right. But there are some people that love the David Gordon Green trilogy that'll be there opening night, you know? Like if it was just a no-name director or a director that doesn't have all this kind of hoopla around him directing this movie, maybe people wouldn't show up. And the reason I say it is because if you think back to like the Exorcist, Dominion, and all those other bad Exorcist movies, there was really no hoopla around them, you know? But this movie, I think there's some hoopla around it, especially now that these new posters have come out. So let's read through this story, okay? Let's read through this story. Because and let me say right now, I am curious. I am really curious about this movie. Okay, I will definitely be there opening night. I want to watch it. I sure do. There's a good chance that this movie could really suck, really, really bad. But I am really curious. Okay, really curious. The Exorcist Believer 3 official posters channel the haunting spirit of original classic. David Gordon Green, Halloween, is relaunching the Exorcist franchise this Halloween with a new movie, The Exorcist Believer. And we're hearing that the official trailer will be arriving very soon. While you wait, the 3 creepy posters have debuted this morning. Check out the 3 Exorcist Believers posters below. Gordon Green is directing the brand new sequel to The Exorcist for Universal, Blumhouse, and Morgan Creek that will pave the way for a new trilogy. The first film in the trilogy will be released theatrically on October 13th, 2023, with Leslie Odom Jr. starring. So this is a trilogy. That is very interesting. And if this movie falls on its face, then they're probably not going to continue. The first plot details were provided with last year's tease. Odom Jr. will play the father of a possessed child. Desperate for help, he tracks down Ellen Burstyn's character. Ann Dowd, Hereditary, Lydia Duet, Netflix's Night Books, Raphael Sbarge, Gaslit, and Jennifer Nettles, The Righteous Gemstones, and Olivia Markham are also on board. By the way, The Righteous Gemstones, guys, holy shit, that is one of the funniest freaking shows I have ever seen. And I always want to, but I'm a horror channel, so I never can find the time to shout it at the mountaintop. So right here, right now, I'm shouting it at the mountaintop. If you haven't seen Righteous Gemstones, they're on season 3 right now. What are you doing with your life? It is so freaking funny. With the characters are just hilarious. I love Judy. Oh my God. Judy and Baby Billy. Okay. Uncle Baby Billy. All right. Yeah. Peter Sadler, Broken Diamonds, and Gordon Green wrote the script for Believer, which features a story by Green, Scott Teems, and Danny McBride. Now, I did see some jokes about Danny McBride directing an Exorcist or writing an Exorcist movie. But I'm sure people said that about Halloween. I think Danny McBride is a horror fan, and I think Danny McBride's a really smart guy. He's had his hands in a lot of different properties, original properties, Kenny Powers, the Eastbound and Down, love that freaking show. It is really great. And I can tell you right now, guys, I'm not really into Southern TV comedies for the most part, but that one's just really good. It has great freaking writing, and it's kind of self-aware, which is nice. And I think if you like Righteous Gemstones, then you'll like Eastbound and Down, and vice versa. Okay, So the Exorcist franchise hasn't been on the big screen since 2005's release of Dominion, prequel to The Exorcist. An alternate version of the previous year's Exorcist: The Beginning. Those films came in the wake of 1977's Exorcist II, The Heretic, and 1990 Exorcist III. That was guys, wasn't that the weirdest thing ever? These two movies came out back to back, and they both starred Stellan Skarsgård. I always read up on it, but then I forget about why that whole thing happened. And both movies sucked. Like, both movies were really, really bad. So, yeah. Most recently, The Exorcist became a short-lived television series. We don't need to read that. I didn't even watch the television series. Was it good, guys? Oh, yeah, here's the posters. All right, here's what we're here for. Yeah. I mean, the posters, the girl, I mean, they look like Linda Blair, really. I mean, well, especially with that makeup. But I like that. That's really good. And I'm sorry that you got to turn your head to the side, but yeah, that's a cool poster. I definitely like the posters. Now, they're kind of up in the ante here because you have 2 possessed children instead of 1. And what could that be like? Could be interesting. Yeah. So, I'm definitely curious about this, though. I wouldn't say I'm like shooting for the moon right now. It's not my most anticipated movie. Exorcist next Friday. It's not my most anticipated movie of the year, but I'll definitely be there watching it day one. For sure. Damn, it's 8:11. I'll say this real quick. I sounded like Foghorn Leghorn there. Guys, there is a Saw X first look at Jigsaw's return, brand new sequel, now releasing in September. They actually moved up the date, I guess. They usually do those movies in like October, but September 29th, which was, I think, the release date of Halloween 6. September 29th. Tobin Bell is back for the upcoming franchise sequel, Saw X, which was originally headed to theaters on October 27th. But today, we've learned that the film has a new date, September 29, 2023. The cast includes actors, and Lionsgate teases the return of Tobin Bell to the franchise, furthers Lionsgate and Twisted Pictures' goal of a film that captures everything Saw fans love about the franchise, while also keeping them guessing with all new traps and a new mystery to solve. Deadline further details in the Twisted Pictures' next installment. John Kramer is back, and it's the untold chapter in the Jigsaw final games. Yeah, this one takes place between Saw 1 and 2, I think. Is that right? 1 and 2? I saw that somewhere. Yeah, sets between the events of Saw 1 and 2. A sick and desperate John travels to Mexico for a risky medical procedure in hopes of a miracle cure for his cancer, only to discover the entire operation is a scam to defraud the most vulnerable. The infamous killer returns to his work, turning the tables on the con artist in his signature visceral way through devious, deranged, and ingenious traps. Now, the only problem with that plot is, where do you go? Like, say that's a big hit. Do you can't make a sequel to that, because the sequel to that is Saw 3. Am I right? So, I don't know. I'm kind of confused. Guys, what do you think of the Saw franchise? I know Chris Snyder's a big fan of it. Are you guys big Saw 10 Pepper? They missed their opportunity. Damn it. I didn't even watch the last Saw movie. I saw Spiral, which I didn't like. But I didn't see Jigsaw. That's what it was. I think, is Jigsaw Saw 9? Yeah, I didn't see that. So yeah, I've never been a big fan of the Saw franchise. I love the first movie. The first movie is freaking classic, with one of the greatest twist endings I think I've ever seen. Saw 2 has a pretty good twist ending, but then for me, the movies just got kind of convoluted, and I don't know. I need to watch them again. I'd like to give them a fair shake, because I haven't reviewed the Saw franchise outside of the first one. So I'd like to review them, but if I review them, I definitely want to give them a fair shake. And hey, who knows? Maybe I'll come out and love them. this time. I don't know. But I haven't even bothered with Jigsaw. And maybe I'll wait until I go back and watch all the movies. But it's crazy to me how, like, this is what I remember. Like I said, like, Chris Snyder's going to know a lot more than I do. But it's crazy to me that I remember watching a lot of the later sequels and how they could tie all the way back to, like, 3 sequels before. You know? And so it would kind of change everything you thought you knew, which is kind of genius if you think about it. But I think as good as the plots may be, I think it went over the heads of a lot of viewers, because when you go into a new Saw movie, you got to kind of like remember what happened before, and not just before, but also like 2 movies before, 3 movies before. And when your big twist at the end of the movie kind of unravels everything that happened in these movies that you don't really remember, you might want to just give up and say, Jesus, my brain hurts, you know? So, yeah. But even Chris admits there, he says, it's so good and cool, but they also took advantage of it and it got too messy. That's the thing. I think it got too messy. And for the normal viewer, even the normal horror fan, if you're not like a Saw fanatic, then you're probably not going to want to get as invested as somebody who's, a Saw fanatic. So, yeah. But, I mean, mad respect for the writer. Didn't Mark Dunstan write a couple of the Saw movies? I think he did. And Mark Dunstan's a really good writer, him and Patrick Melton. So, I still want that Halloween Returns movie, honestly. I read the script, and it's a great script, I think. It's not perfect, but it could have made for a really interesting Halloween movie for sure. So, yeah. Guys, how many of you have seen Oppenheimer yet? I'm just curious because are you guys like... I like long movies, but it's hard to get me to long movies, like 3-hour movies, Unless it's like a property that like I get, like if it's like a Batman movie that's 3 hours, I'm there, okay? But like Oppenheimer, it's a historical movie, and it's 3 hours, and I just, maybe it's just like 3 hours is a lot of time that I could put to good use, and to sit in a movie for 3 hours that I might not like, it's a gamble. It's a gamble. So I'm still curious, and I still might go see it, but, and I see some of the reviews, and people are like saying it's like a masterpiece, and, the filmmaking is just, it's Christopher Nolan. Of course it's great filmmaking, but is the story good? Is it, will I get bored? You could be the greatest filmmaker ever. You could be Stanley Kubrick, but the movie can be boring. Stanley Kubrick made boring movies. It happened, all right? But at the end of the day, the number one goal of any movie should be to entertain you. That's it. Everything else is secondary. You got to be entertained, right? Thank you, Brother Fluff. I appreciate it. Is that Chris? Thanks, man. I appreciate that. It's really nice. But yeah. So let me ask you guys this, because you have the power. I'm going to give you the power. All right, you got the power. Which list do you want me to start with? Do you want me to start with divisive horror movies, or do you want me to start with movies that made me part 2? Okay, I'm going to go grab my monster real quick. Decide in the chat. All right. Divisive horror. Okay, that's what we're doing. Monster drinks that drive me. This is a flat monster. Did you hate that? It had like a pinhole in it, so it had like a slow leak. And I'm guessing the pinhole was at the top because it didn't leak anymore. But it's pretty much flat, but I'm still drinking it. Part 2 of movies that made... Hold on. Part 2, divisive. Divisive. I'm going to say that counts. Part 2. Let's start with divisive. Bring it together with rad movies. Okay, we'll start with divisive. I'll just run through these quick, all right? And a lot of these I got... Well, actually, I came up with a lot of these, and then some of them were stated in Killer Flicks. But I did get a few of them from Killer Flicks, okay? And you know what? It's good that we start with divisive because I already have it up. There we go. Okay. Now, this is going to be fun, okay? This is interactive, all right? We're going to test this theory. All right, we're going to test each movie, okay? So, Blair Witch Project. Just put like, don't like. All right, I'm going to test this theory. And if this is a divisive movie, half of you like this movie and half of you don't like the movie. So, I need everybody to participate, okay? So, number 2 pencils, make sure they're sharpened, and piece of paper, scratch paper. Like, dislike, okay? And we're gonna deem this movie divisive or no. Okay, so I'm seeing that Blair Witch Project is, well, we got a couple don't likes. Now, I will say this, though. Even though a lot of you like this movie, I think when this first came out, a lot more people did not like it. I think it has grown over time, and people tend to, they've come around to it. They like it a lot more. But I remember back in the day, there was a lot of people, they not only did they not like it, like they hated it. I'll even say this too. Blair Witch Project was like the Skinamarink of its day. You know, just comparing it. Found footage was a pretty new thing. It wasn't the first found footage, but it was close to the first. And found footage, it's not that easily digestible at first. You know, you have to kind of work your way into it and to enjoy it. And so when this movie first came out, I remember a lot of people were like, nothing is happening. These people, they're just getting lost in the woods for the whole time. And it was frustrating, and it was hard to get through for people. I'll even admit, even me, but I saw this in the theater during all the marketing hype. And I swear to God, when I saw this in the theater, guys, I thought this was real. That was the genius of this marketing, you know? Or maybe there was just like, maybe a part of me was wondering if it was real or not. But man, I've never seen marketing like this, and it was genius. You know, the idea that I'm watching a movie that could be the last videotape of these 3 people, you know? And they kept their identities a secret for a good amount of time. So people actually thought they were dead. So it was a genius marketing, but the question was, would this stand the test of time? And the answer is yes, because people still talk about Blair Witch to this day. People still watch Blair Witch to this day. You know, I still watch them from time to time. I even reviewed it on my channel. And I actually really like the latest. I didn't like Blair Witch 2. That movie's horrible. But I mean, that movie could be, like, let's test that theory, okay? Blair Witch 2, if you've seen it, like or dislike. Okay, I bet that one's more divisive than this one is. Let's test that theory. Like, dislike, Blair Witch 2. I hate the movie. I don't hate it, but I really don't like it, okay? I don't like it. Yeah. There we go. Dislike, hate, dislike. I love it now. Dislike. Don't remember it. Never saw it. Blair Witch 2 is okay. So see, it's about half and half. I think it's more dislike. Unofficial director's cut. I haven't seen the unofficial director's cut, so maybe that is better. But I always go by the theatrical, okay? All right, so let's go to the next movie. Next movie on the divisive list. All right. Okay, you know what? Let's just start out with a bang. Boom, right there. Okay, Halloween Ends. Let's test this theory. All right, I've talked about Halloween Ends till my freaking brain hurts. I don't need to talk about it too much more. Let's just find out, is this movie divisive? So right now, like or dislike Halloween Ends. All right, I'm really curious on this one. I will bet it is So nighttime, I'm 6 out of 10. I'm taking this as a like, hate, hate, hate. I only need one hate word. Like, dislike, love it, like. Oh, wow. You guys are surprising me. I would have never guessed. I thought for sure I was going to get a lot more dislikes. Great idea, but wrong placement. I like it. The goth chick was the only good thing in Blair Witch 2. Dislike, like it. It's divisive. Like, dislike. Wow, a lot more likes than I expected from you guys. Wow. I'm like just another horror fan. I love Halloween Ends. And guys, I've done the test. I've watched it like 3 or 4 times now. And I just love it even more. It's like a fine wine. It's like a fine wine. I love the story. I love how they handled Myers. I never even thought I'd say that. I love how they handled Myers, especially after repeat watches, you know? Yeah. Now, Sick Ninja. I hate the ending in Halloween Ends. I'll say this right now. I'm going to be completely honest with you. When I saw this in the theater, when I saw Myers go down into that metal compactor, it hurt. It did. It was like, oh my God, they're doing that to my boy. It was brutal. And I had to kind of digest that and separate it from my head. And then when I went back and watched it again, I think my context was a little better. And I got why they did what they did. And it made more sense. It made more sense. Because what are you going to do? Myers is going to live? No. This story is not about that. It's about one killer on his way down and the other killer on his way. It's like the rebirth of evil. That is what Halloween Ends is. It's evil rebirth. That's what it is. You know, passing the baton. And I loved it. Okay, so but I would deem it divisive for sure because some of you don't like it, some of you like it. All right, next one. Here we go. Hereditary. A lot of people did not like this movie. Okay, and I think this is when A24. It definitely wasn't their first movie, of course, but I think a lot of people. This was when people started really getting to know A24. You know, it started becoming more of a brand with Hereditary. Am I wrong on that? I think I'm right. But so yeah, here we go. Dislike, love it. Masterpiece. I love Hereditary. Like it. They should. The other one went to Michael. Like, love. Walked out after the first hour and 30 minutes. After the first 30 minutes. Like it. Dislike. So yeah, there's some dislikes in there. I think Hereditary is a masterpiece. And if you know what, another thing about this list is it's going to tell you something about yourself, guys. Okay, it's going to tell you if you tend to be on the like side of divisive movies, right? So it's kind of fun. I've already figured it out. I think I like every one of these movies except for maybe one, maybe two, and I think I got like a dozen movies here for you. I like just about every one. Okay, so. I guess that's just who I am as a horror fan. My big thing is, I'll tell you right now, I like art. I just don't like to be bored. Okay? Do not fucking bore me in a movie and we'll get along just fine. All right? And I find that more times than not, these artsy films, there's always something interesting. And I'm always kind of like trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And I'm always thinking when I'm watching these movies. But as soon as you lose me in that regard, then I'm done. I can't deal with it. And one of these movies is going to fit that category perfectly. Okay? Nicholas Vincent, what's up, brother? All right, next one. Let me move up here. Okay. Isn't this fun, guys? All right, here we go. It Follows. This is the first movie that everybody mentions when I say, what is a divisive movie? It Follows. This movie is divisive, okay? I guarantee you, I'm going to get some dislikes. Okay? Go ahead. Like or dislike, It Follows. There we go, Taffer. You win. Thank you. See? Told you. Taffer's like, you goddamn right. I'm going to make sure this is a divisive movie. Hate it. Love it. Great. More likes than I expected. Okay? Hell Palmian. Dislike, love it. Saw It Follows in theaters. Only had like 3 good scenes. And rewatch, I still mad. So you dislike it. Just say dislike. Just say you're good. You're good. Like it. You're cracking me up. Love, dislike, dislike. See, I think we can. It's divisive. It's a divisive movie. Okay. Where is Macon Monroe? Macon Monroe's doing just fine. Just fine. She was in a movie called. She's done a couple movies recently, guys. Set him straight, or do I have to? Significant Other is actually in my top 5 movies of the year. She was in that. It's kind of like an alien type movie, and they're in the woods, and it's like an alien takes over their body, and it's really good. I loved it. I really like Significant Other. Check it out, guys. Nobody's talking about it. Did I review? I think I. Damn. I should have talked about it. I should have done a review on it. It's a great movie. She did another one, The Watcher, Blazing Asian. Thank you very much. Yeah, she's working, man. Don't you worry. Macon Monroe, she's doing just fine. Okay. All right, here we go. Next one. Now, I'm going to go ahead and make a guess here. I'm going to guess that this one is going to be on the like side. Okay? What do you think? Malignant. Is there any of you that dislike Malignant? It was mentioned in Killer Flicks, and I didn't come up with this one. I love Malignant. Malignant might have been I think it might have been my favorite movie of last year. Was it last year that it came out? Yeah, Malignant. Like it. Haven't seen Evil Residence. Dude. Whew. Skip Halloween 6. Watch Malignant. Wow. What a fucking movie. Jesus. Malignant is insanely good. James Wan. Like it. I'll say this too. If you like Italian horror, then you'll love Malignant. Okay? Because it's a total homage to Italian horror. Okay? Thank you, Sacred Straight Productions. Very kind, good sir. Freddy Krueger beanie. If yours, it isn't divisive. Is the beanie? Do you like the beanie or do you dislike the beanie? Let's decide if the beanie is divisive or not. See, I told you, most of you love Malignant. I think I only saw one. Sigfredo, he hates Malignant. So I like that you're using hate though, because that kind of confirms the word divisive, like the beanie, yeah. Okay, so the beanie is not divisive. All right, cool. Yeah, I like the Freddy beanie. Okay. All right, so next one. What did we learn about Malignant? That it's not divisive. All right, cool. All right, here's one right here. I'm gonna say this one's divisive. All right, I'm gonna say this one is divisive. All right, what do you think? What do you think, guys? What do you think? This is well, you know what? I won't even tell you what I think. All right, I'll wait and see what you guys think. Okay, do you like it or you dislike it? Nope. House of the Devil is, yeah, I think that one's probably divisive. Liked it, boring, hated Nope. Nope. Nope is great. It grows on you. Loved it, liked it. Nope had a monkey rampage. That's the best scene in the movie. Liked it. 8 out of 10. Just like the title. Nope. Haven't seen. So Nope is definitely divisive. I did not like Nope. All right. But I only watched it once. Okay. Maybe it'll come around to me if I watch it again. All right. But I did not like Nope. I thought it was pretentious, if I'm being honest. And really, the big thing for me was the big spaceship in the sky at the end. It looked like a freaking napkin. All right. Or maybe it's not a spaceship. I think it was like a living creature in the sky. Whatever it was, it looked like a living napkin. All right. It looked like I could freaking wipe my mouth with it. And I didn't want that. All right. I wanted something more interesting looking. It was one of those movies that it had a what the fuck moment at the end, but the payoff for me just wasn't there. I thought it was a little pretentious, but I think the monkey scene was the best scene in the movie for sure. Killer napkin. Yeah. Old was good. I liked Old. I bet, what? Old is probably a divisive movie. Let's test that theory. Old. M. Night Shyamalan. What do you think, guys? Did you like Old or did you not like Old? All right. I'm curious. This monster does not taste good. Like it. Never saw it. It's like a jellyfish. Old was fine. Dislike. I never bothered with Old. Down. Yeah, see, Old is the definition of a divisive movie for sure. It's one of those movies. I liked it. I'll never watch it again. You know, one of those type deals. All right. Okay, here's one. This one might not be divisive. It might just be everybody hates it. All right. So, what do you think? Open House. Some of you might not have seen Open House on Netflix, but man, when this movie came out, whoa. I mean, everybody seemed to hate it. Like, they really hated this movie. So much so that it still kind of like permeates in my brain. Like, wow. I actually enjoyed Open. It was one of those situations where I was like, what? And after I watched it, because I watched it because everybody was hating on it, and I was like, this movie's just fine. I don't understand why everyone hates this movie. I've seen far worse. It's got, I think it was just more about tension, and I think maybe people wanted just a bloodbath or something. But you got to know what you're watching, you know, what type of horror movie you're watching. I like tension. I thought this movie had good tension. I like the premise of having an open house, you know, to sell a house, because that's a vulnerable situation, right? Vulnerable. Did I say that right? That's a vulnerable situation. Rosalia, how are you doing? You put yourself in that situation. Anybody can walk into an open house. I think it's a good premise, actually, you know? But maybe it's similar to another movie that's on here, okay? But yeah, I'm thinking a lot of you guys. Yeah, Straight Garbage, there we go. Suspiria 2018 is probably divisive for sure. I like Suspiria 2018, though. I did not mention H Kills, because I mentioned Ends, and I do have another Halloween movie on here, and I didn't want to overload it with Halloween, but I would say Halloween Kills is probably divisive too. So, yeah. All right. I don't even know what the answer is to Open House. I'm just going to assume that it's divisive. Okay. Next one, speaking of Halloween, here we go. Okay. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. This has got to be divisive, right? Because there's people that just flat out hate this movie. Hate it. I love Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I can tell you right now, I don't like Rob Zombie's first Halloween. It's annoying to me. But this one, I really enjoy it. Okay, hate it, liked it, but when people don't, I get why people don't like it. Better than H1, don't like it, saw it, I love it, like it, shit, like it, more likes than I expected, for sure. Evil Residence 50-50 on it. God, I feel idiotic. Love, more likes than I expected. Okay, I tell you, I saw this because I've seen every Halloween movie since Halloween 4 in the theater. 4 and on. I've seen them all in the theater. And I did see Halloween 1 when they re-released it in the theater a couple times. But this was one of those situations where I was in Japan at the time when it came out. And they would show like movies like 3 weeks late on the military base in Japan. And you were lucky if they showed the movie. And they didn't show Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. So we came back on October 29th. They happened to re-release Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 because it came out in August. They re-released it for 2 nights, and I was able to catch it. And it was just me, my niece, and my wife in the theater. And my niece and wife were both asleep because they had jet lag. So they didn't even really watch the movie. They were asleep the whole time. So it was just me. And I was like, as I was watching the movie, I'm like, I'm glad they're asleep. Because this movie is dark, you know? So... yeah, Barry, what's up, brother? Nice to see you. Yeah, man, I'm getting older as the minutes go by. It's sad. It's really sad. But Barry, do you like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2? Barry, what we're doing is we're doing a test, okay? Everybody's commenting on if they like or dislike a movie. And we're deciding, is it in fact divisive? All right? So we did that with Halloween 2. It is in fact divisive. Let's move on to the next one. Oof. Okay, this one's going to be tough, all right? Here we go. Skinamarink. Whoa. Drumdums. He says Rob Zombie is overrated. Would you guys agree with that? Like, because to be overrated, that means everybody loves you. Does everybody love Rob Zombie? Because I don't think so. I think he's right where he needs to be. I don't think he's underrated or overrated. I think he's just rated. Okay? Hell to the no, H2 is awful, but I appreciate the divisiveness. There you go. See? Skinamarink, get the trash out of here. No, not seen. Too gory and he's talking about Halloween. Didn't watch, haven't seen it. Everyone blames Zombie. We're still talking about Halloween. I'm curious about Skinamarink. Haven't seen this one. Burn it. Yeah. Skinamarink got some people pissed off. I like most of his movies. It's been warned, not attempt. Skinamarink. I've been warned. Yeah. Disliked it. Not a fan of Zombies directing. We're still talking about Zombies. Charlotte, how you doing? Can't stay as I'm currently at work, but I'm saying hello. I will watch a playback when I can. But be sure to, Charlotte. Nice to see you in here. Nice to see you in here. Hell to the no. You see the anger of Skinamarink? That was me. I watched this movie in the theater, and holy shit. 15 minutes in, I'm like, here's what I was doing 15 minutes in. I was like, please, something happen. Can something happen? You can be as artsy as you want, but just for God's sake, make something happen. That was me watching Skinamarink. I wanted to saw my own head off in that movie. I swear to God. It was creepy. I mean, there were creepy images, and they were trying. I thought they were going to try to build to some kind of nothing. And everything moved at a snail's pace. They could have had a snail be the main character of that movie. Snail-a-marink. That's what they could have called it. Because everything moved so freaking slow. And all they showed was like the corners of any random bedroom. And it drove me nuts with the lights off. And you'd see like toys and Legos just laying. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me at all. It was like torture. It was the first time I gave a Looped in Hell in years. And my rating of a Looped in Hell, I appreciate the filmmaking, but if this is the movie that is played in hell over and over on a loop, then I got to give it that rate. If it would like make me like want to like kill me, just kill me. That was Skinamarink. Okay, I could not stand it. Holly liked it though. There were a couple people that liked it. And you know what? That's the beauty of movies. They touch us in different ways. They affect our brains in different ways. And Holly probably clicked in somewhere at some point in that movie, and she was along for the ride, and it worked. I wish to God I had that experience, Holly, but unfortunately, I was just like, maybe it's because I saw this in the theater with I think one other couple. I was sitting in the back. They were sitting like in the middle, and that was it. And I kind of wish it was a packed audience because maybe I would have at least kind of fed off of their energy. Because guys, I think there's a difference between watching a movie in a packed theater than watching a movie with nobody in there. Would you guys agree with that? Because the energy is like you feed off of each other, and I think a lot of people would have been like laughing and like, what the fuck are we watching? So yeah. Okay, next one. Holly, what we're doing is we're deciding if movies are divisive or not, okay? And all you got to do is say like or dislike, all right? So here we go. The Rental. All right, I loved this movie so freaking much. This is one of those situations where I saw it, and I thought, man, everybody's going to like this, right? And then I opened the internet, and oh my God, shit literally like flew out of my computer at me when I opened the internet. People hated this movie. And man, I really, really, really loved it. Loved it to death. It was just so unique. It had a slow burn for sure, but beautifully directed. And I actually loved the last act, And I'm seeing a lot of people there that didn't watch it yet, so I don't want to spoil anything. But I'll just say it's an unconventional slasher, all right? Unconventional slasher. But I was kind of just intoxicated with the characters. And maybe that's what it is. Like, if you're not really into these characters, then you're going to check out. But for me, I was really into the characters. And the premise of it is, imagine going to like an Airbnb, and there are hidden cameras everywhere in the Airbnb. you know, and that's kind of established early on. So there's that, I guess that there's like a feeling of tension throughout the whole movie, you know. Where's the camera, right? But love the cast in this too. Really good movie. I liked it. Yeah, Reno had a stat cast for sure. So I don't even know if it's divisive because it looks like a lot of you people haven't even seen it. So hey, if anything, I can recommend this movie to you guys. So definitely check it out. The Rental. Okay, I think you. Yeah, I had to rent it. Funny enough. Okay, it wasn't on Netflix. But I love. Yeah, thank you, Holly. Dave Franco, James Franco's brother, directed this, and he does a damn good job. You know, he knows how to handle tension. And he didn't make the same old cookie cutter horror movie, right? So, yeah. Going to the grocery store is crazy life, Rosalia. It is the crazy life, okay? Now, Rosalia, here's the real question. Did you go to the grocery store to buy, like, full-on groceries, you know? Like, was your cart completely runneth over? Or did you just go to pick up a couple things? And what did you go to pick up? You don't have to answer that if you don't want to, okay? But, yeah, I have questions. All right. All right, next one. This one's going to be a fun one. Okay, guys? The Witch. Like, dislike. Let me know. Did you hate it? Did you like it? Let me know. Liked it. Like, haven't seen it. I still haven't seen it. Holy shit, Chris. Damn. Like, only 3 bags, and it was $50, Lee. Holy shit. That's the crazy. Yeah, everything's getting more expensive. Jeez, it's crazy. Love it. Like it, but it took me a while. Love it. Wow, I'm surprised. Well, there we go. Nighttime. Witch was garbage. Chris Snyder, dude, you have to watch The Witch. I love it. All right, if there's any movie that's on this list that is intoxicating, it's this movie. This movie is intoxicating. You feel uncomfortable the whole time as you're watching it. And it plays around with the idea of religion, and it's set back in, I think, the 1600s. And you got Anya Taylor-Joy, and I guess part of the plot of the movie is her family is accusing her of being a witch. Okay? Holly said it the best right there. Slow burn, but absolutely amazing. Yeah, couldn't have said it better, Holly. It's just intoxicating. I love this movie so much. It's scary too. It gets pretty damn. You're gonna feel uncomfortable by the time you get to the end of it. And it's Anya Taylor-Joy. You can't go wrong. She's mesmerizing. So, yeah, it's great. I think we got one more, and then we got 2 more, or 3 more. Hold on. We'll get through these quick, all right? Us, like or dislike. I did see quite a few people not liking this movie when it came out, you know? So I thought maybe this one is a divisive movie. I'm not sure. I actually loved, matter of fact, Us was my number 1 movie of 2019. But I think it comes down to if you like the ending or not, and I won't spoil it, but I love the ending. And I like the premise. It's a crazy premise. Like, dislike, not a fan. Like, meh, hated, dislike, liked. It's not hyped. It's okay, not hyped about, liked it, hate. So this might be the most divisive movie on the list, okay? I think it's official, guys. This one's kind of split right down the middle. Ashley, you need to see Us. It's really good. I loved it. I mean, just think of the idea of, imagine imagine this, Ashley. You and Jason and your lovely daughter are in the house, and then you look outside and you see a complete copy of you and Jason and your lovely daughter. And they want to kill you. Is that not a fucking awesome premise? I mean, that's amazing, right? Like Jordan Peele, wow, he can come up with some really great premises. Sounds like a John Carpenter premise. Let's all hold hands across the country. Yeah. No one ever saw those people. You could poke holes. You could definitely poke holes, Rosalia. I'm not gonna argue with you on that one. But I think they needed to fine tune that script a little bit. But man, what an irresistible premise! Wow, you know, a lot of symbolism there too with like Alice in Wonderland, and you got the bunnies and whatnot. Yeah. 2 more. Here we go. I think this one might be divisive too. The Candyman remake. What do you guys think? The Candyman remake. Like or dislike? Another one that I loved. I loved the Candyman remake. I thought it was really good. There were people calling it woke. I don't think it's woke if it fits in with the actual story, which hell, I think even if the original Candyman came out today, there would be people calling it woke. Okay. Because it kind of centers around the same idea, right? Fine, crap, that one was great. Dislike, hated, liked it, did not like it all. Not interested, loved it, liked it, dislike. So this one might be on that list. Man, I'm glad I closed out with these. These are really divisive. Hell yeah. I don't know why I'm so happy. I love that. I didn't like the Candyman remake. Sorry, guys. Ashley. Yeah. And you know what I love about my audience? You guys are so freaking honest. And you will tell me in a heartbeat if you'll tell me the truth. You'll tell me if you like something or not. And you'll say, fuck that movie. Get it out of here. Burn it like the trash that it is. Candyman was floating like a ghost. Was creepy. I will say this. I didn't really care for the showing Tony Todd at the end. And I'm sorry if I spoiled it, but I didn't think that was necessary. You know, make the movie your own. I don't think you needed to show Tony Todd at the end. All right. But especially a CGI Tony Todd, we don't need that, right, guys? We don't need that. Yeah. All right. Last one, and it's a newer movie. And I tell you what, guys. Well, I'll talk about that after this, okay? Here we go. So right now, I'd say Candyman and Us are the 2 most divisive. All right. Evil Dead Rise. I saw a lot of people not liking this movie. So I think this one might be filed under divisive. I'm really, really curious. Matter of fact, I've only watched it once. I absolutely loved it. It's still, it's in my top 3 of the year. I loved this movie. Love it, love, cool. Maybe it's a generational thing, but I find not to like new horror. I love a lot of the new stuff. Matter of fact, I'm going to talk about a movie here in a sec. Absolutely loved Evil Dead Rise. Holly, like it, probably. Do you guys like this whole gimmick that I'm doing right now? Maybe I could come up with another idea like this where I get you guys involved. This is fun. I'm really enjoying this. And I just came up with this idea today, you know? Am I going to clip this out? You goddamn right I am. It's going to be great. All right. Yeah. So I don't think this is divisive. I think everybody liked it. Rattlehead, why do you not want to watch it? Do you not like Evil Dead? Yeah. Didn't see it yet. Yes, we love it, Rosalia. Thank you. Yeah, I love this. This is fun. I didn't think this would go over that well, but yeah, I love it. It's really fun. I'll come up, you know what, next week I'll come up with another game that we can do, okay? Something, or we could do more, like, instead of divisive movies, we could come up with another gag, right? Come up with something different, you know? So, now, the movie I was going to recommend when it comes out is Talk to Me. Holy shit, okay? And this movie might be divisive. I don't know yet. I'm curious, but Talk to Me right now is officially my number 1 movie of the year. It is that freaking good. Am I kind of drunk on the Kool-Aid because I just saw it? Maybe, but wow, that was insane. Chris Snyder says, I got a topic. Sequels that should have been the final. Ooh, Chris, I'm going to write that down right now. I like that. I'm telling you, I take you guys' ideas. I'm going to put it right down here at the bottom. Hold on. Sequels that should have been the final installment, Chris Snyder. All right. It's going on the next one. I love it. I love that idea. That's a great idea. Matter of fact, let's test that right now, okay? Why am I doing this? Give me a sequel in a franchise that you think should have been the final installment, okay? Just one. We'll just test it right now, and then we'll just put it to bed, and we'll tuck it in real nice, and then we'll wake it up the next time. Okay, but that's a cool idea. I like that. T2, yeah, pretty much, because every other Terminator movie sucks ass. Day of the Dead, good one. H2, are you talking about Halloween? The H2, you talking about? I'm thinking you're talking about the 81 Halloween 2. Elm Street 6, I would go way back. I'd say Elm Street 3, if I'm being honest. I'm not even the biggest fan of New Nightmare. I think there's potential there, but I think they missed, I don't think it goes as hard as it should. All right? I'll just say that. Halloween H2O is a good answer. For the ending, that's a perfect ending to the franchise. Chop his head off. Boom. Next. Yeah, I like that. Hellraiser 2. Even though I have a soft spot for Hellraiser 3, I'll even say I think I prefer 3 to 2. Just because it's fun. God, we finally got a fun Hellraiser movie. Is that even possible? Yeah. All right. It's way, way late. I need to do this. Movies that made me. Let's do it. All right. And I'll try to move through these fast. Let me go back up. Okay, so I need to close that. Go down here. Is it that? Nope, it's not that one. I saved my titles, all right, just in case I need them again. Oh, here it is. It's part 2. See, I even made a little part. See, you guys, you got to do your homework. That's what I do, right? You got to put in the man hours to study the science, all right? Let me close out Evil Dead Rise. Okay. All right, I'm going to give you, I think I got 11 more movies, and these are movies that made me. Again, if you don't know what movies that made me is, these are not my favorite movies. These are movies that are kind of a checkpoint in my life, right? They are extremely important to me for one reason or the other. It's usually like a big memory. It could be like my first scare that I ever had. Or, the first time I cried in a movie, that could qualify. So this is going to be fun. All right, this is going to be fun. I had a blast doing it last week because it was kind of like a trip down memory lane too, which was cool. Okay, I will say too, there is one movie on this list that I have only seen once, but it's a memory, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, all right. And most of these movies I love to death. Okay, all right. So. By the way, this is not a ranking. This is not a top 10. This is just, the number one is not going to be the number one on this list. It's just a random list, okay? Random list, all right? So, I'll start you off with a bang. Boom, Halloween 4. I've talked about Halloween 4 ad nauseum. The reason it's on this list is because it's the movie that got me into the franchise, that made me the obsessed fan to this day. I think I've been chasing the feeling that I got from Halloween 4 ever since, and I'll never get it. I'll never, ever, as much as I love some of the other sequels, I will never, ever be as full as I was after Halloween 4. I had nightmares about Myers for literally years after watching this movie. It fucked me up. And I loved the story. I loved the movie. I loved Dr. Loomis. I loved Rachel and Jamie. It just hit me so hard. And I remember just sitting in the theater after this scene and just being like, wow, movies can do that. To most people, it's like the fourth movie in a franchise, and this movie did nothing for them. But I was 15 years old, and to me, it changed my life. It really did. And as crazy as that sounds, this movie literally changed the trajectory of my life. Before, let's put it this way. This will sum up how profound this movie was, okay? There was before I saw Halloween 4 in the theater, and then there was the second after, okay? The second, before the movie started, I wasn't a Halloween fan. The second after the movie ended, the Halloween franchise was my favorite franchise, okay? That's how profound Halloween 4 is. It was that crazy. And if I had to put if I had to name a number one as far as the impact that the movie had on me, this would be my number one. All right, I'll start you off with that. I get chill bumps right now just talking about that experience, Packed theater, opening night, 1988. And that crowd, I was just talking about the size of a crowd does matter. That crowd was so freaking into this movie. They were scared to death. And when Loomis does his no, and then you see her, I still to this day remember this deafening gasp. The whole crowd was like, oh my God. Everybody was just like freaking out. Like, can you believe that? I've been chasing Halloween 4 ever since. I will never get it again. Okay. Next one. All right. Movies that made me, people. Jaws. A lot of memories of Jaws. I was too young to see it in the theater in 75. I was 2 years old. But I just remember watching this movie pretty much yearly from a certain age up until now. Every year of my life, I have watched Jaws. It might be the movie that I've watched the most in my life. Seriously. Sometimes I watch it twice a year. I would say Jaws, like a lot of movies, well, I don't want to say a lot of movies, but there's a select few movies that are just like a warm blanket, and no matter how many times you throw it in, it just feels like the first time. I don't know. There's just like, it's one of the few movies that I could watch directly after watching it the first time. The characters are so good and so rich, and we'll never have a shark movie again that can even touch Jaws. It's impossible almost at this point. And maybe, people give a lot of credit to a lot of different things for Jaws, but one thing that I don't hear people mentioning as much is Peter Benchley, who wrote the novel. He wrote such great characters, and you didn't see the shark for most of the movie, but you were terrified. And it has one of my all-time favorite openings of any movie, not just horror movie, period. The opening with Chrissy being attacked by Jaws. I mean, as far as like setting a tone of a movie and what this movie was going to be like, because at face value, when you think of a shark attack movie, it could go either way. It could be like a kind of a lighthearted, fun, like comedy, almost comedic type movie, even though you're being eaten by a shark. But it was serious. From that opening scene, that it was terrifying watching what happened to Chrissy, and just the way they directed that scene, yanking her body back and forth. There's been so many openings to horror movies where you get zero payoff. I just saw this movie, The Black Demon, the shark movie, and this movie, like so many other movies, was just a cutaway. That's what they do. They show the reaction of the guy, and then they cut away. Not Jaws. Jaws, they show you the enchilada. They show you everything right at the beginning, the terror. And it's a PG movie. It's crazy. All right, next one. Looker. I just reviewed Looker. It's an important movie to me, even though this last time I watched it was the first time I had watched it since I saw it in the 80s. It used to come on HBO all the time, and I was probably around maybe seven years old when this came out, and it was PG, and they would play it during the day, and it opens up with nudity. And I was, for a 7-year-old, I was just like, whoa. And I was like, and it's beautiful women. And I was like, whoa, holy crap. This is awesome. And I'm like 7 years old. And it kind of freaked me out. I was like, am I like getting away with something here? Like, do my parents even know about this? Because they didn't. And I know, as superficial as that sounds, that's the memory that I had of this movie, is just kind of the shock of how much nudity it had. But then when I went back and watched it, I ended up really liking the story. Michael Crichton, the writer, actually wrote and directed this movie for the screen. And I would say, after this recent watch, Halloween 3 is very similar to this movie. And this movie came out before Halloween 3. I think it came out the year before. But the plots are quite similar, actually. And but this is just a memory burned in my brain. Nothing more. Okay? It's just one of those memories that never left me. Okay? And so I had to put it on here. And next one, this is a movie I've seen one time, but it just kind of stayed with me. I don't know what it is. It's weird. And I've always wanted to watch it again. I've just never gotten around to it. But No Retreat, No Surrender. This is Jean-Claude Van Damme's first movie. If you remember back in the 80s, a lot of martial arts movies were pretty popular. You know, it was the age of the action hero. And Jean-Claude Van Damme, his gimmick was he would do these splits. But this movie has the weirdest freaking plot ever. Because there were a lot of bully type movies. I bet this movie was kind of inspired by The Karate Kid. And the guy on the right, he was being bullied, and he's like a martial artist. And I guess he's being bullied by Jean-Claude Van Damme. And so he wants to try, because it's been a long time. I only seen the movie once back in the day, and I think his father was killed or somebody was killed, and so he wanted to get revenge on Jean-Claude Van Damme. Jean-Claude Van Damme's only shown like at the beginning of the movie and at the end of the movie. And so who trains him? Of course, the ghost of Bruce Lee. You heard that right. The ghost, not Bruce Lee because Bruce Lee's dead, but the ghost of Bruce Lee trains this guy to fight Jean-Claude Van Damme. I can't make this up. And it was, there were a lot of these movies that had like training montages back then because of Rocky. Rocky inspired so many action movies. And, you always had to have that training montage in there. And it was always fun to watch a good karate, like martial arts training montage. And because they would do they're like doing like the finger push-ups and, stuff that's like almost superhuman. But the fight at the end was exciting. And the memory of this is I saw this in the theater with a buddy of mine. And I was probably maybe 13, 14, something like that. Mid 80s. And I remember enjoying the hell out of it, but there were only 4 or 5 of us in the theater. But I guess this movie's kind of just like a statement of the types of movies that were popular in the action genre back then, But yeah, it's a memory that's never left me, for some strange reason. Because I think this movie just kind of embodies bad B-level action movies in the 80s because there were tons of them. This was not an A-level movie. This is the low budget. The acting's pretty bad. Kind of like Canon Films, even though I don't think this was a Canon film. But I love Canon Films, So, yeah. All right, so next one, Pulp Fiction. Now, this would be on my all-time favorite movies list. And this one is on the list because when I saw this movie, you could almost equate it to listening to Nirvana for the first time. There was the music before Nirvana, and then there was the music after Nirvana. There were movies before Pulp Fiction, and then there were movies after Pulp Fiction. That was the impact that Quentin Tarantino had on the landscape of cinema when this movie came out. It was quite profound. Movies, you could do that in movies. You could literally just leave the camera there and let these characters talk about mundane bullshit, but somehow it'd be entertaining as hell. And Tarantino stated this. The idea of this movie was in every one of these, where you have these two hitmen, the camera cuts at a certain point. What if the camera doesn't cut? What if we just follow them for the rest of the day and listen to, them talk about, restaurants in Europe, the Royale with cheese, or just talk about different bullshit, talk about TV, talk about whatever. It takes a skilled writer to make that stuff interesting. And boy, was Tarantino. I mean, Pulp Fiction is one of those movies I could throw on anytime and just you could have it as background noise. It's so freaking fun. But not just that, also just the shifting around of the actual story, and a story doesn't have to be linear. And I think Tarantino kind of made that popular. Was he the first to do that? No. Hell, Scorsese did that. And I would even say, I think Tarantino borrowed a lot of his ideas from other directors like Scorsese. He's even admitted it. But so many directors have tried to copy Scorsese, but they don't create their own style, their own stamp. And that's what Tarantino did. And, you know, the next movie that he puts out, he's one of the few directors that I will be there. I don't even need to know what the movie is. I don't even need to see a trailer. Because it's his name on the movie, I will be there day one. Okay? And Pulp Fiction is probably my favorite of his still to this day. I think it's just perfect. I hate using that word, perfection, for movies. Sometimes I like when movies don't have perfection, but it's one of those movies, there's not a single boring scene in the entire movie, and it always surprises me. Even after I've seen it 50 times, just the reactions of the characters, everything's just so great with Pulp Fiction. All right, next one. I got some big guns in this list, guys. Wow. Gee, I need a minute on this one. This right here is my life. Like, this is another level. Okay, this isn't a movie, and I know I'm sounding dramatic, but I mean, just this. I don't remember a moment of my life without Rocky. You know, I was born in '73, but I think I started remembering things after Rocky came out. You know, because our first couple of years in life, we don't remember anything. And the character is easily the most important character in my life. And I would even dare say I wouldn't be who I am today if not for Rocky. Rocky pretty much shaped me as a person. He inspired me. He made mistakes that I've learned from. But I've always aspired to be like Rocky. Just like Stallone has, he has this saying. He says, if I say it, nobody cares. But if Rocky says it, it's the truth. And he couldn't be more right. You know, Rocky was the type of character that, this was a loan shark. You know, this is a guy that beat up people to get them to pay money. But you can have that scene where he doesn't want to hurt the guy. You know, he has such a good heart, but his situation has put him in an area where he has to hit people. You know, he's a boxer because that's the only way he can live. He doesn't have any other skills. You know, and so the first Rocky movie is at its heart. It's, you know, they always say it's a love story, but to me personally, yeah, it's a love story, and it's a beautiful love story. But it's so much more than that. You know, it's the character himself, and what he created with Rocky is pretty much unlike any other character in film history. And I know that's a pretty bold statement, but you feel like you know Rocky. You really do. Every time I watch a Rocky movie, it's like revisiting an old friend, you know? And to be able to write a character like that, I don't even think Stallone realized what he was doing, you know, to write a character like that. And it just hit everyone, you know? And Stallone's done quite a few interviews on Rocky, talking about how it was a miracle that it was made, and if he had to do it again, it wouldn't have worked. You know, everything kind of just lined up, and the timing was perfect, and even like the scene where he only had one take, you know, and it's the most important scene in the movie, where he's laying on the bed near the end of the movie, and he tells Adrian he can't do it, he can't win, and you know that's a bold scene to put in a movie about a guy who you look up to, and you feel like because of his training and his heart that Rocky could take on a mountain. But there's this one scene in the movie where he's like, I can't do it. I can't beat him. And I don't necessarily want to win. I just want to go the distance. And they literally had just enough film to do one take. And that's the take. He did the one take, and he got the most important scene in the movie. So everything was just kind of lined right up for Rocky. I could talk about Rocky for freaking ever. It's just, it's always been a part of my life, you know? I hold Rocky very high, and to me, Rocky is the power of cinema, the power of movies, and what they can do to you as a person, you know? That speech that he says in Rocky Balboa, it ain't how hard you hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. I literally used that speech in my retirement speech when I retired from the military. You know, I used a speech from Rocky. That's how important he is to me. So, yeah, enough about Rocky, okay? Because I get emotional when I start talking about Rocky. It's the only movie that really gets me that emotional. Shawshank Redemption. Wow. What a freaking movie Shawshank Redemption is. I mean, 1994 is definitely one of the bigger years for movies, because you had like Forrest Gump, you had Shawshank Redemption, and you had quite a few other movies that came out that year too. Like I think Speed came out, which is a big hit. But man, as far as like movies that they inspire hope, you know, because this is a guy that was innocent and he went to prison for 19 years. And the movie's about being in prison, and no matter where you are, the power of the mind and how you can rise above it. Because, you know, you could be in prison and you can decide to give up on life. And I think a lot of people probably do that. So this movie is about the power of the human spirit. And even worse, imagine if you're innocent and you're in prison for 19 years. And Andy Dufresne, he concocts this plan to get out of prison. And he pretty much starts very early on in his stay. And he's patient. So there's a lot of lessons that you can learn from Shawshank Redemption. You can learn about patience. You can learn about friendship, because Andy would not be able to get through what he did without Red, Morgan Freeman, in the movie. Probably one of the best on-screen friendships I've ever seen. And this movie is just absolutely beautiful. It really is. It's crazy that Stephen King wrote this, and it's not a horror movie at all. But this movie, it feels like a good book. You know, it's funny enough, I think this is based on like a short story, but the movie itself is like, I think 2.5 hours long, but very rich characters. And even the smallest character in this movie makes a mark, you know. To me, it should have won Best Picture, you know, and but Forrest Gump won Best Picture. And Forrest Gump's a great movie, but man, Shawshank Redemption, that's another one of those movies that I used to watch it like every year, you know. It's like reading a good book. That's what, and I'm not a reader. I don't read books. I watch movies. So this is one of those movies that I could just continually watch over and over and over. So, yeah. I've seen Green Mile. Green Mile's really good. But it ain't Shawshank. It ain't Shawshank. Okay. Next one. Okay. Superman 2. Superman 2. Does that mean Superman 2 is my favorite Superman movie? No. I would say it's probably Man of Steel is probably my favorite Superman movie, but Superman 2 is on this list because it is the very first movie I ever saw in the theater when I was 6 years old. And it is the movie that made me a Superman fan. I always say Hulk is my number one and Superman's my number two, but I think they're almost interchangeable. Like, I think they're both number one. I just like everything that Superman stood for. I mean, this is a guy that has so much power. Like he's like 1,000 times powerful than anyone on the planet that he's on, you know? And he chooses to be a good person. He chooses to not take advantage, you know, because he could do that. But he chooses to follow the rules of society and to try to make the world a better place, you know? And to do that when you have that much power, you know, there's a lot of seduction there. And I just remember going to the theater for the first time and seeing Superman 2 and just like, wow, this movie is so freaking great. I loved it to death. I remember like the Niagara Falls scene, you know, when the kid falls and he like flies down there to get him. But I think this scene right here was the scene that I loved the most, when General Zod and his henchmen, you know, Superman, he gave up his powers. He gave up his powers for Lois. And then, you know, the lesson here is that, I guess with great power comes great responsibility. There's no other way to say it. You know, when you have that much power and people depend on you, you have to put aside your personal needs. And so he has to give up the woman that he loves because the world needs him. And so the scene where, you know, it's been a long time, and, you know, that scene where he goes to the Fortress of Solitude, and man, when he screams out, you know, Christopher Reeve's performance is just beautiful. Father! You know, he's just screaming for his father, and he's pretty much given up, you know, because they told him, if you give up your powers, you can't have them back. And so he has to go back and beg for his powers. And so then when he comes back, you see the newspaper just kind of fly away, and then he flies in. And then the music, John Williams' beautiful freaking score. General Zod, would you care to step outside? I still remember this. The theater lost it. You know, he's back. And I know, I didn't even know all the drama between Richard Donner and Warner Brothers and all that back then. I was 6 years old. I just loved the movie. And I found out years and years and years later that there was another cut, the Donner cut. But the Lester cut always has my heart because it's the movie I saw in the theater. And it was the first movie I ever saw in the theater. So, yeah. So, Superman 2. Fractal, remember, King Kong was on the last list, all right? King Kong was on the last list. Okay. All right, we're moving. Next one. To Live and Die in L.A. This might be a movie that a lot of you guys haven't seen. Now this was, I saw this, I think in the 80s. I think it came out in the late 80s. And I put it on this list because this was the first time that I wasn't, like, I guess, seduced by the popular movie, you know, of the day. This is the first time I learned the lesson to, hey, give other movies that everybody isn't talking about a chance, because you might end up liking them and you might end up loving them. And that's what happened with this movie, To Live and Die in L.A. One thing was, like, Willem Dafoe was a really great villain. And there's a scene in this movie where they pretty much show you step by step how to counterfeit money back in the 80s. And I always found that scene really interesting. But also, you know, William Peterson is not like, you know, your normal leading man, right? He's not Tom Cruise. He's not Sylvester Stallone. He's more of like almost a character actor. But he really leads the charge beautifully in this movie. And yeah, Wang Chung, man, I love the song To Live and Die in L.A. too. This movie totally feels like 80s. It has one of the best car chases, on-screen car chases I've ever seen, because he's having to drive against traffic. It might not be the first movie to ever do that, but man, it's a great scene. And you know, oh, by the way, William Friedkin, who directed The Exorcist, directed this movie. And man, is it beautifully directed. And because a lot of you haven't probably seen this, yeah, Burning Money Naked, yeah. But because a lot of you people haven't probably seen this, I'll say the ending has such a crazy twist that I did not see coming whatsoever. Rosalia, Running Scared. Yes. Running Scared is excellent. Excellent. Loved it. It came out around the same time as this movie too. There were a lot of these type movies that nobody was talking about. Another one was like True Believer with James Woods. It's a lawyer. I love good lawyer movies. And that was one of those movies that no one was talking about. And it was really, really good, with a nice twist at the end. But this is one of my favorite twist endings. It's like a holy shit, one of those type endings. Did not see that coming at all. Yeah, we're not talking about the Paul Walker running scare. We're talking about another one. Was it Jeffrey? Rosalia, what's the actor's name? Is it Jeffrey? He was a dancer. He was in White Nights. Yeah. Okay. To Live and Die in L.A. I cannot recommend it enough. It's so freaking good. Okay. Next one, of course, American Psycho. When I saw this movie, it was one of those movies I thought, man, this is great. Nobody's ever going to see it. That was my thought process at the time. It came out in 2000, and it was just one of the most unique. Like, is it a slasher? I guess it's kind of a slasher, but it's more of a character study of a completely psychotic person. But man, as far as like building a character, Patrick Bateman is literally like Hershey's chocolate. You know what I mean? He's just like what do you think of when you eat chocolate? It's like dopamine, right? And Patrick Bateman, he's just so freaking fun to watch because he does and says things that are completely insane. And I would even wager that he probably does and says things that sometimes we might want to say and do. We don't want to kill people, but or do we? You know what I mean? It's like, I can't do this, but you know what? I'm going to put on this guy that can do it for 2 hours and just kind of enjoy that. That's what Patrick Bateman is. It's different than any other horror movie that I've ever seen. And it's probably one of the greatest horror characters ever created. And again, when I first saw this movie, I thought I had this great secret that because nobody was talking about American Psycho when it first came out. And I was just like, God, this movie's so freaking good. And I should have known because eventually it just started building and building. And then everybody was talking about American Psycho. And it's one of those movies that's so good. It's so good that I can't, you don't want them to make a sequel, right? And they made a sequel and I never even bothered to watch it, because it would almost taint how great the first American Psycho is, Don't you dare make a sequel to this movie. It's almost a crime. This movie is perfection in every sense. It's one of those movies like I'm scared to even review it because of how damn perfect it is. Okay? And so I put this movie on here because of how fucking perfect American Psycho is. Okay? And I'd say Patrick Bateman might be one of my all-time favorite characters. He's just because you can just study this guy. There's not too many characters like Patrick Bateman. They've tried to copy that formula of a character many times since, I think. And it's one of those characters that if you don't fully commit to it, then you're probably going to fall on your face, And there's just so many funny little anecdotes about American Psycho. Just little things like his morning routine, how he exercises to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, how in the book, by the way, guys, I don't know if they mentioned it in the movie, but in the book, his favorite movie is Body Double. The last catalog review I did, Body Double, that's Patrick Bateman's favorite movie. I think he mentions it like 30 times in the book. Okay, Brian De Palma, Body Double. I should have put that on here, but then that's just too many movies. And Born to Be Rad would kill me. Okay, not another freaking movie. I can't do another list. All right, so yeah, American Psycho, baby, hell yeah. Okay, next one. Can anybody tell me what that movie is? I bet you can't. But man, is it important to me. I love this movie to death. All right, I'm going to give it a couple seconds to see if anybody can guess this movie. I guarantee you nobody's going to be able to guess it. Sean G got it. Guys, I have a recommendation for you. This is John Ritter. Jesus. John Ritter is the main character of this movie, and I love this character to death. This is one of the funniest comedies I've ever seen, but it definitely has some sadness to it and a lot of heart. His name is Zachary Hutton. The character's name is Zachary Hutton. Okay. And that picture pretty much sums up his life. Okay. I want you to study this picture. Okay. Zachary Hutton, this is the beginning of the movie. I'm laughing just thinking about this scene. Beginning of the movie, he has been caught. Okay. But what's funny about the beginning of this movie is he's caught by the woman with the gun to his head. And you think that's his wife. But no. Because that woman caught him with another woman. All right. Because he's a nymphomaniac. And then his real wife comes in after. And, she's just like, you can pretty much tell what their marriage has been like just by this opening scene, because she literally tells her, if you're going to shoot him, could you at least do it out in the yard? And that's the opening of the movie. And immediately I want to know more about this character. Okay. I want to follow this character for 2 hours and I want to see what the hell his life is about. Okay. And he is this very famous writer in the movie, and he has like writer's block. And he is, he's like a nymphomaniac. And like, if he sees a beautiful woman walking down the road, he can't control himself. He has the best intentions. And I think that's why we like these types of characters so much. These characters that have a good heart. They have the best of intentions. They don't want to hurt people, but they have a weakness, almost like a drug addict. They have this disease and they just cannot help themselves. And then when you take that idea and you make it one of the funniest movies ever because of the situations that this guy gets into, there's no other comedy like this. There never before or since. Skin Deep is a gift, and nobody's seen it. That's what I love about this movie. It's like my own personal little gift that nobody will ever see. And oh my God, it's so freaking funny. It's so freaking funny. The scene that this movie is famous for, you might know. The scene is so famous, but you might not have seen the movie. And it's the glow-in-the-dark condom scene. It's the glow-in-the-dark condom scene. What that is, Zachary has gotten himself in trouble. He's in this hotel, and long story short, he hooks up with this girl, and she was dating this rock star, right? And that all they do is fight. And so Zachary, he's not like a loud guy. He's a writer. He's intelligent. He woos her. So the scene is so freaking funny. So she has these glow-in-the-dark condoms, and the lights are off. So the screen is black, and then he comes out of the bathroom. All you see is the glow-in-the-dark condom. I think it's green. And he's walking out, and the condom is just like that. And so then her boyfriend enters the frame in a different colored condom because he wants to surprise her. Okay. That scene is so freaking hilarious. So this film is just filled with scenes like that like there's very few comedies where your sides are literally hurting from laughing so hard. This is one of those comedies for me. I would say like Step Brothers, Anchorman, stuff like that. But this is a very different type of movie. There's actually a lot of heart to this movie. You want this guy to succeed. You want him to get better from this affliction. But man, is it funny following him and seeing him like just completely fall on his face all the way through the movie. The script is so witty, really great writing in this. So guys, if you haven't seen Skin Deep, definitely check it out. Okay. All right. Is that the last one? That's the last one. We did it. All right. Born to be Rad, man. Thank you guys for doing this tag, creating this tag. I like I said in the first video, this is the first time I've done a tag in like 7 years. And when I saw the idea, I was just like, God, I got to jump on that. I want to tell my story, because that's literally what you're doing. You're telling your cinematic story when you do this list. And I think that's why it caught on, and I think it's going to keep catching on. But yeah, so that was fun. That was really fun. Holy shit, we went 30 minutes over, but man, I had a great time with you guys tonight. And my voice is almost fried, but I'm glad I got out the Divisive Horror. We'll do more of that on the next live stream. I don't think I'm going to be able to stream next week because I'm on call next week, which sucks. And it seems like this this on call we share with like another complex, and it seems like the other complex, they have somebody, their AC either goes out or it's leaking like crazy, and we have to go out like constantly after hours. Drives me freaking nuts. So yeah, Taffer's on call tonight. He knows what I'm talking about. You know, you're gonna be working. I'm usually exhausted by the end of on call week. I am. So I won't be able to stream, but I can't wait to stream. You know, in 2 weeks. That sucks. So, but yeah. Anyway, guys, I had so much fun hanging out with you guys. I'll be 50 years old tomorrow. This is the last time I'll be in my 40s on a stream. This was stream number 90. We got 10 more to go, and we'll be at stream 100. I'll be probably 65 by the time we get there, but hey, we'll do it, right? So anyway, guys, I love you. Take care. Be good to each other, and have a wonderful, wonderful